The jagged outline of the volcanic island rising from the blue Caribbean is visible more than 50 miles away. Nevis is the birthplace of Alexander Hamilton. We've come to retrace his early footsteps.
Now we've all seen the play, watched the Disney movie, and now it's time to actually go there. And I'm so curious to see the place.
Alpha Kilo.
What do you find inspiring about Alexander Hamilton? I just think he's one of the most. He had an amazing life story. He's one of the most insightful of the founding fathers, and the fact that his whole origin story is so unlikely. You know, I mean, a guy born out of wedlock at a tiny place in the Caribbean, that he would be this incredibly influential American. You know, in the early days, leader in the revolution. Just seems so far-fetched.
A rocky outcropping about a mile from the runway threshold requires a curving approach to final.
And 184 Mike Bravo is 2 mile final, runway 10.
November 184 Mike Bravo, clear to land, 10011.
Clear to land, 184 Mike Bravo.
A steady trade wind is well aligned with the 4,000-foot strip, and the Baron, with its heavy load of people, gear, and fuel, rolls to a stop at midfield. We hop in a taxi and take in the beautiful sights of the island. Nevis was an economic battleground in the 17th century as the British, French, Danish, and Dutch fought for advantage in the Caribbean. Then as now, it was a place of surpassing natural beauty. Sugar drove the economy here, and the climate in Nevis was ideal for growing it. You can visit Hamilton's birthplace in Charlestown, a small town about 20 minutes from the airport.
Well, the Alexander Hamilton Museum and the Nevis History Museum are right here, and they're pretty small places. But hey, it's Nevis is a pretty small place, so that seems to suit. But this is where it all began in terms of Alexander Hamilton's remarkable life.
Hamilton was just a young boy in the late 1750s when he lived in Nevis with his parents and an older brother. But his experiences here shaped him and later young America. Fierce opposition to slavery, an activist central government, a diversified economy backed by a disciplined monetary policy, and free trade were ideas that took hold in his formative years. But his out-of-wedlock birth and tragedy-filled youth brought only stinging shame and embarrassment. Today, residents are more likely to admire local politicians or cricket stars than Hamilton. They say he was born here, but that's it. I keep hoping for Hamiltonian insights during our stay in Nevis, but they're elusive. Instead, I'm transfixed by the place. We ask a lifelong resident for a guided tour of the island. The sugar plantations that produced both riches and misery have been transformed into stunning high-end resorts and housing subdivisions. The last of the sugar plantations closed in the 1950s, and the donkeys that were beasts of burden now have their run of the island. There are fiery sunrises and sunsets with elaborate cloudscapes. The people we meet are spirited and friendly, and the mood is relaxed and welcoming. I can't help but wonder why Hamilton wouldn't claim such a place. Why wouldn't he identify with it and take pride in it? The inescapable answer is that Nevis today is nothing like the place where Hamilton knew such tragedy and loss. Despite his heavy load, the Baron lifts off gracefully from the east-facing runway at Nevis, and we begin our next overwater trek. Before we leave Nevis, however, I asked the tower controller for permission to overfly the runway at low altitude. I want to remember every sight and sensation of this spectacularly beautiful place before saying goodbye. That's quite a contrast from Hamilton, who, when he left here, was likely impatient to get away and establish himself in America. And he was more successful at that than anyone, himself included, would have predicted. Dave Hirschman, AOPA pilot.